Happy 2022, guys. So this is our first video that's going up this year, and I have decided that I'm going to be posting every single Sunday. If I can stay consistent with it, then I'm gonna go ahead and start posting twice a week, but right now I'm just gonna stick to Sundays because I really wanna start getting consistent and posting on here and sharing more of my life with you guys. So we are getting ready to head to the gym. I've got my protein shake here. It's a Muscle Milk. It's one of their non-dairy protein shakes because me and dairy don't mix and I just don't feel like taking one of those lactate pills right now. But me and Luis said that one of our goals is gonna be to go to the gym 3 times a week. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try it. That's what we're gonna be doing. I just got dressed. We started the day off kind of late, but it is what it is. We're gonna get things going and head to the gym. I'll show you what I'm wearing and we're gonna go work out. Okay, so this is all that I am wearing. Nothing insanely cute at all. It's just a jacket from Fabletics and then these kind of like burnt orange leggings that I got. They're from TJ Maxx. I think they're the RBX brand. I'm not really 100% sure. And then I'm just rocking some old school Nikes that I've had for years. So we're gonna head to the gym, get a workout in, and start this year off right. We made it in the car. It's like 35, 36 degrees outside. I'm freezing. Absolutely freezing.
I mean, it's a lot better than what it's been.
Yeah. We're heading to the gym. This is going to be a huge year for us. I can feel it. I have a really good feeling about all of the things that are gonna happen this year. I am so excited. I'm just happy. We're already doing hard work trying to get up and go to the gym on the first of the year when we really didn't want to, but we set a goal and a resolution that we're gonna do it. So we are going, we're gonna do it, right?
Oh yeah.
3 times a week. We decided that we were gonna go ahead and set the days that we're gonna go each week. That way we already have our plan and we can't get around it. Can't be like, oh, well, it's busy, why don't we just go tomorrow? We already set up when we're gonna go. So that was like one of the first things is we're gonna try and make it a habit. That way it's just natural. It's like, oh, he gets home, today's Tuesday, we're going to the gym. Do you wanna do a little bit of work or do you wanna go to the gym? And then we're just gonna go. So we have that going for us. After the gym, I'm gonna go ahead and share some of the goals that we wrote out. We wrote out some personal goals as well as some business goals, and we definitely shot high. There was another YouTuber that I saw that was talking about it, and she called them stretch goals. I think her name is Sam Ozcurl. I don't know if I said that right at all. She calls them stretch goals. So she was essentially describing it like where you set your goal, like if you were to reach your hand as high as you can, go ahead and stretch it just a little bit higher, and that's the goal you want to set. So we set some really, really big goals, and we're trying to break them down into monthly goals as well. So I guess today's kind of gonna be like a monthly reset, new year kind of thing, and then you'll also just kind of be hanging out with us for the day. I'm gonna share all of the books that I read in December as well. So instead of making that a separate video, I'm just gonna add it in here. So if you wanna see all the books that I read, stick around. I'm gonna have them all linked down below as well for you guys. We are done working out. It was really good. We did something completely different. When we go to the gym, we do better when we don't work out together, so we just don't work out together. We go together, but we don't work out together. So I did legs, and they're so sore. I can already feel it setting in. I definitely pushed myself more than I should have, but it's okay. What did you do?
I took it easy. I just did a little bit of cardio and that was it.
And then I killed my leg. And then we went to the grocery store and got some food. I'm starving. I haven't eaten anything today, and it's now 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna go heat up like a mini pizza, and then Luis is gonna cook dinner.
Yeah, and I'm gonna prep the short ribs, marinating.
Oh yeah, and he's making short ribs tomorrow. So he's making steak tonight with some sweet potatoes, and then we're gonna have short ribs with some rice tomorrow. So I'm super freaking excited for that. So I'm gonna go throw a pizza in the oven so that I can eat, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk about the books that I read and some of the goals that we have for this year and play a little bit with the girls. Yeah.
Is that the perfect food after a workout? Pizza?
Not the healthiest, but definitely delicious.
We're going for it.
It has been a little while, but I went ahead and grabbed my books that I read this month, so I only read 5. I'm gonna go ahead and go through all of these books and kind of give you like a little overview of what I thought. I'm gonna have to go back through and look at what I rated them on Goodreads. I'm pretty sure I gave like all of these 4 stars. I think I gave this one a 3-star. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get into the book. They are in no particular order because this is definitely not the order I read them in. But we're gonna go ahead and start with It Ends With Us. So many people love this book, and my stepdaughter Anna was dying for me to read this, like harassing me. I grabbed a different book to read and she literally took all the books out of my room and this was the only one that she left in there. So I didn't have a choice but to read it. I liked it. I really want to like Colleen Hoover because so many people like her and I'm probably gonna get a little bit of hate for this. But I have trouble getting into her books. I have a list of books that I'm reading this year and I have a handful of her books on here, so maybe like I'll slowly like transition into liking her. It just wasn't there for me. Okay, so this book follows the female lead Lily and her relationship that she ends up developing with Ryle, and then it also kind of throws back into her teenage history with letters that she wrote about her boyfriend at the time named Atlas, and then he kind of reappears in her life at like a critical stage for her. It's actually really interesting to read because the author does a really good job of depicting the inner workings of a relationship and how a relationship really isn't black and white. There's so many gray areas. There's so many reasons that people do the things they do or say the things that they say or how they respond to certain things that happen to them. I really liked that she touched on that. I was really hoping for a really strong redeeming event to happen at the end of the book. It didn't happen for the character I wanted it to. I do really like though that she left it very open at the end, kind of up to interpretation. You don't really know what the future necessarily holds, which I really liked about it. So yeah, I believe I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. It definitely wasn't like a favorite read of mine. I liked the honesty in the book a lot. I think that for me, the writing was good. I just didn't enjoy it as much. So like I was in between like a 3 and a 4, but the writing was good and the storyline was there. I just didn't like it personally. So I think it's a 4-star. Go ahead and check this book out if you want to read something about a little bit more truth behind relationships. I think Colleen Hoover did a really good job of depicting the truth that comes along with being in a relationship. So I'm gonna go ahead and have all these books linked down below too in case you want to purchase any of them. Credence. So if you follow me on TikTok, you would have seen this book in one of my videos that I was reading. It's definitely a taboo romance. I loved it, honestly. I didn't want to put it down. It was exciting and different from any book that I've ever read. It was definitely on the risque and spicy side, but it was really fun. I don't know, it was just, I had fun reading it. This book here follows Tiernan, and she, at the beginning of the book, she ends up losing her parents, so she ends up agreeing to go and stay with her uncle, who is like not a real uncle, like he's a real uncle, but he's a step uncle, like not blood uncle. So she goes and spends time with him while she's still under the age of 18 and she's not an adult, where she can make her own choices, and she lives with him, and he has 2 sons as well that live there. And this story follows her, kind of her stepping out of her shell and finding herself. Like I said, it's very spicy. There was a few different scenes that I was like, what? Oh my gosh, is this happening? This isn't happening. I feel like I should feel like this shouldn't be happening, but I'm kind of like for it. So don't judge me if you guys have read it. Don't judge me at all. Definitely look up trigger warnings when you're reading these books. Same with It Ends With Us. Always look up the trigger warnings if there's certain things that might affect you when you're reading books. I loved it. I wasn't expecting the ending. Like I kind of was when I got closer to the end, but if you would have had me guess the ending from like the first half of the book, not in a million years. It was so good. So Penelope Douglas is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. I am planning on grabbing Birthday Girl and reading that. Maybe I'll get to it in January. I don't know. I have a laundry list of books, y'all. I'm talking a laundry list of books. But yeah, so this was a really good book. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I absolutely loved it. All right. I'm gonna do From Blood and Ash, and it is by Jennifer Armentrout. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I apologize if for some reason she ever comes across this video. So Blood and Ash was recommended to me by somebody on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me. I talk about my books on here and I try to share a little bit more of my everyday life on Instagram with you guys. Okay. So this book, Blood and Ash, follows a girl named Penelope. She goes by the nickname Poppy, and she is the maiden. So it is more of a high fantasy. The first part of this book is relatively slow, to me at least. A lot of world building to understand like how things work where she lives in the like world that she lives in and all of the characters and things like that. It follows Penelope. She is the maiden. She is chosen by the gods. So she is always wearing a veil. She's not to show herself. And she's really not allowed to hang out and have friends. She has a little bit of a darker past. Before she was found by the king and queen, she has nightmares that terrify her and wake her up, and then she just can't sleep. So she ends up sneaking out of the castle when she's not supposed to, and she's always supposed to have guards. So the story starts to progress. One of her guards gets killed. and she has to have another guard replace that guard, and in walks Hawke. All of a sudden Hawke starts guarding her along with Victor. You can see the banter between Hawke and Penelope, and she is not supposed to do anything with anybody, and she has this desperate need to live her life, right? It was a little bit predictable for me. I don't want to give too much away. I'm still trying to figure out how to give like synopsises without giving too much of the book away, because I cannot stand watching other people talk about books and give away like the plot line. But I felt like this book was kind of easy to predict, which is why I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, but I did enjoy it. And I'm currently reading the second book, and the second book is definitely a lot better. If you want to read about their relationship, check this book out. I swear I'm gonna get better at these, guys. Don't judge me. And then the last book that I want to talk about is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Okay, so many people have talked about this book, and I completely understand why. It is so good. It's definitely a historical fiction outside of my genre that I usually read of romance, and I fell in love with the book. I really did. It was really good. The twist I was not expecting at all, like was not expecting it at all. I love how Evelyn Hugo is just 100%. She is who she is, and she doesn't regret what she did to make herself happy. She chased her dreams, and she did what she felt like she needed to do. And I think the fact that she was so unapologetically herself is a trait that a lot of us can learn from. I think there's something very special in being that way. Evelyn is at the tail end of her life, and she wants to do a tell-all, essentially. So she ends up agreeing that she will do it, but only with Monique. And this is essentially Evelyn's idea, right? So she reaches out to where Monique works and says, I'm only doing it with her. So then Monique comes over and starts doing like the recording and stuff for this story that she thinks she's gonna get, and she finds out that it's going to be a book that she is gonna write just for Evelyn, and then she can publish it after Evelyn dies, right? She ends up agreeing to do it. The story of her going through all of her marriages, the battles that she fought, it was absolutely incredible. I felt so connected to the story, and it was really, really well written. So I'm super excited to read more books here by Taylor Jenkins Reid. She did a phenomenal job writing that book. I don't have enough words to say how much I love it. It's so good. It really is. It's such a good book. Those are the 5 books that I read this month. Like I said, it wasn't a lot, and I kind of suck at doing these synopsises. I'm gonna try and cut out as much bull crap as I can for you guys. I hear my husband losing his mind, so I'm gonna go help him cook a little bit, eat dinner, and then we'll sit down and go over goals together. We are all done with our dinner, so I am going to jump in and talk about my goals that I set for 2022. Y'all, they are absolutely huge goals. I know that they seem totally wild, but like when I tell you that I am all in for 2022 and like I am going to make my dreams even more of a reality than they already are, that is what I'm talking about. Okay, so future Kelly is going to hate me right now because I really don't feel like doing a bunch of different camera angles. So I'm going to go ahead and put the goals up on the screen as I talk about them. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. I have written out a handful of goals. I have more than what I have on here, but these are just the ones that I have already written down and transferred over into my journal. So I have my business goals as well as my personal goals, and then I'm breaking them down into milestones throughout the year. So for each month. And then I'll go ahead and like look back on the month and see how I did and see if I can like raise what my goal was and so on. So we'll go ahead and start with my 2022 business goals, and y'all can just think I'm crazy off of the get-go. So the first goal that I have for 2022 on my business side of things is I want to hit 100K on YouTube. Y'all, I know that seems absolutely like insanity, right? 100K, I'm only sitting at about 22,000 right now. I know I can do it. Between my long form videos and my shorts content, I really think that it's something that I can go ahead and do. I just really need to like buckle down and really figure out what my style of video is for long form content and just stay consistent with it, which is my like consistency and intentionality are my words of the year. So I really want to be consistent with everything that I do, and I really want to be intentional with everything I do. So I think with those 2 words and sticking to my smaller milestones, this is something that I can do. So on the trend of followers, just like on YouTube, I also have an Instagram account, and with Instagram, my goal is probably a little bit crazier. I want to hit 200K on Instagram, which would be so cool. I am at, I think, 84.5K right now, and we've had a ton of growth the last back end of the year, which was really, really cool and exciting, and my reels are doing really good, and I'm having so much fun creating them. So I think that this is something else that we can go ahead and do. Okay, and then that leads me into TikTok, which is the social media that really started this whole journey for me. I have about 2.2 million followers on TikTok right now, and I really want to try and get to 3.5 million by the end of the year, which is roughly like 100,000 followers in a month. I just signed on a new management team for the first quarter of 2022 to handle all of my brand deals, and I am so excited. I absolutely love the girl that I spoke with who's going to be handling my management side of brand deals, and I think that me and her are going to do really cool things together. I think she's gonna bring in awesome deals for me, and I have so many cool things that I wanna go ahead and do, and I think that she is going to be the perfect step in that direction to go ahead and move forward with it. So that's something super exciting. Okay, another huge thing that I'm trying to do this year, which is, it's something that I'm really excited about and something that I think hits really close to home for me, and I love the business aspect of content creation and growing and figuring out different tricks and tips and things like that. It's so fun to me. I am going to launch a second YouTube channel. I'm so excited for it. It's gonna be all about growing on social media and creating a life you love. So I'm gonna be talking about like financial things and business things and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, obviously, and how to grow your channel. And I'm gonna grow it completely from scratch. So I think it's gonna be really cool to see how long it takes me to get monetized, which is actually another goal. But as of right now, those are the huge goals that I've set for myself. And then let's go ahead and jump over to our personal goals for this year. These personal goals are a little bit more my personal goals, not Lois's. Some of them are kind of like combined personal goals. This year, my personal goals is to read 100 books. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy. Like I said, I kind of shot for the stars on this year's resolutions and goals. The other thing that we want to do is we want to work out 3 times a week. We chose dates so that we can turn it into a habit, because having a system is so much better than just going ahead and saying, hey, I want to do this. Now we know when we're gonna go, and we can easily plan our days around when we go to the gym. So that is something else that I want to do. Also, we are planning to move this year. I can't give you more information than that. It's gonna be a secret until everything falls into place. But we are planning on moving out of Washington State. Go ahead and comment down below and tell me if you think you know where we are moving. Another thing that Lois and I are planning to do this year is we want to go on dates once a week. We really want to go ahead and make sure that we are prioritizing our relationship, especially since we have a business together, and with him retiring, he's gonna be home more. So me and him are gonna be in business mode together, and I really wanna make sure that we can go ahead and separate business Kelly and Lois to married Kelly and Lois. Okay, my broken down goals for business related things for the month of January. 30K on YouTube, and then I want 90K on Instagram, 2.3 million on TikTok. So those are my goals. If not, we'll reevaluate and adjust in February. I wanna create my business YouTube channel, and then I want to read 6 books, and I wanna save $200 for each of my funds. That is all for today's video. I hope you guys made it this far. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll just see you guys in my next video. Bye.